Good afternoon or good evening, and welcome to this Sea Trade Maritime virtual conference sponsored by IEC Telecom and Thuraya. To introduce our panel and guide us through the next 60 minutes of discussion, please welcome your moderator for this session, Synergy Offshore's Chief Executive Officer, Fazal Boy.
The new opportunities for all vessel types. Three words have dominated our vocabulary in 2020, starting with the word that needs no introduction, COVID-19, and the concomitant spillover to two other words, which is digitalization and virtualization. Today's deep dive will cover not only what the impact that COVID-19 has had on the two aspects of our marine economy, but also the impact that the developments on virtualization and digitalization have had on mitigating the impact of the COVID pandemic. Firstly, as all of us in the maritime environment will know, one of the most devastating impacts has been on the well-being of our seafarers. They've battled with extended tours of duty, delayed repatriation, as well as the physical and mental health aspects of being isolated at sea. Secondly, the pandemic also brought about many travel restrictions and hence on-board visits by OEM representatives, maintenance services engineers, and importantly, class-related survey work all had to be curtailed as service providers had to respond remotely. Thirdly, there's been a move towards data exchange between vessels and the engineering team at the head office, as the trend is to move towards real-time condition monitoring of equipment for overhauls and maintenance and away from prescribed maintenance-based maintenance. Finally, the development of autonomous or semi-autonomous shipping, where active control of the vessel is being shared by the onshore team, has increased the need for the rapid exchange of vessel data between offshore and onshore. All of this has led to the most responsible maritime companies responding by augmenting their telecommunication facilities to give the seafarer more access to his home and his loved ones, to give the industry better remote access to their vessels, and to facilitate the exchange of voice and data to unprecedented levels. I am honored to be the moderator of this panel session called the Virtualization of Telecommunication Services, which is jointly sponsored by IEC Telecom and Thuraya. We're extremely fortunate to have with us the leadership of both companies who would enlighten us on what their respective companies are doing in this area and how we can all benefit from their service offerings. We have with us today Mr. Shaukat Ahmed, the Chief Commercial Officer from Thuraya, the UAE's first homegrown satellite operator. Shaukat has held a number of senior management positions within the UAE satellite industry over the past 20 years. He currently leads Thuraya's commercial and intercarrier teams that are responsible for growing the company's global distribution network and market share. We're also privileged to have with us Mr. Nabil Ben-Soucia, the CEO of Asia, Middle East, and the CIS, on behalf of IEC Telecom Group. Nabil is a high-performance leader with extensive experience in the MENA, Asia, and CIS markets, who has been responsible for the strategic vision and the management of the maritime segment. The multi-award-winning Nabil took over in his new role as the CEO in this very challenging year of COVID, that is in 2020. With that, I would like to invite Nabil to give us an opening presentation on behalf of Thuraya and IEC Telecom, followed by Shaukat, who will both set the stage for what I hope will be a very engaging hour of discussion and Q&A with strong audience participation. We'd love you to take part in the discussion today, and you can submit your own questions using the moderated chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. Please type your questions into the area and the team will get them to me, and I'll do my best to weave them into the conversation with our esteemed panel. So please do have your questions ready. Nabil, the stage is yours.
Hello, good morning everyone and good afternoon. Today we will have a session about telecommunication for all vessel types, and we will try to see the effect of COVID and the crisis on the market and how we can move forward with solutions and how we can help the industry. A quick introduction about IC Telecom. So IC Telecom is a satellite provider doing mainly satellite connection and solutions available in 8 countries and with more than 25 years of experience. Out of it, around 20 years already with a strategic partnership with Thuraya, where we work together on providing the service and also adding our value-added services. So we make the Thuraya connection with to solve the problems of the end users. So IC is around the maritime routes, starting from Norway to Singapore, passing by Turkey and UAE, and we have also a good access to the Caspian Sea that we cover from Kazakhstan. As I said, the offering is from a mobile satellite phone to a VSAT with all the value-added services and all the virtual services that we will see later on the presentation. So, digitalization, a global and regional trend. Why and how things are moving toward digitalization. So we can say that today the global maritime industry is on the verge of investing in the digitalization. The digitalization, artificial intelligence, automation, all those buzzwords are not making or not bringing any impact to the industry if we don't have connected vessels. There is a trend towards digitalization. It is increased by the penetration, or driven by the penetration of IoT, by the adoption of a lot of cloud services, and also by the bring your own device policies that are today everywhere. Everywhere is living with his phone, and everyone is expecting to have the same connection everywhere, including on board the vessel. Middle East is a part of this global trend. UAE is planned to be one of the top 20 most digitally advanced economies in the world. A lot of ports are going to investments for IoT, for remote inspections, remote services. So this is the situation today. Another just reminder why to invest in SATCOM, why to go digital. So we can see that if we break the expenses of a vessel over a day or a month, we can see that the charges encountered are port charges, where we see in many ports that we are moving to IoT, and there is a kind of work done around that. So there is a possibility to reduce expenses or to reduce cost there. Fuel consumption is the biggest expense, and with a good connection, with a good software of routes optimization, you can save up to 7% of the fuel consumption. Insurance also is going toward being more profitable for smart ships and where you can have the record of everything. The most important thing, and where we have seen the effect, is the maintenance. And we have seen a lot of problems of maintenance because of the impossibility to reach the vessel for the engineers or for the vessel to go in the port. And remote maintenance today became very, very important. I would say that a year ago, it was a possibility to reduce cost. Today, it's the only possibility to do maintenance. That's what happened, at least during the COVID. And vessel is spending around 10% on his staff, and we understand that part of the staff is you should have today an efficient staff. With the new generation, they are not efficient without internet connection, and we know that they cannot do anything anymore without an internet access. So it is important to keep the staff happy, to keep to maintain or to retain the high qualified staff, but also to do training, to care about their health, etc. So all those systems, the reasons why you should invest in maritime, in SATCOM and maritime. But the most important is that today, with those services, you are competitive. Without those services, you are at risk of not being able to carry on the natural job you used to do. There is a new normal today. At any time, you can be denied to enter a port, or to have some shipment sent a new terminal to be installed in next port. We have done much lesser intervention on board this year, and that pushed us and the market to go virtual. And what we call the virtualization of telecom services is that today you don't need to send a new box or new equipment to avail a new service. Everything is virtual. We have to have an application store or application enabled box with virtual services, and you add on top of it. You don't need anymore to send an engineer or to wait for the next port or to send an equipment on board. So COVID added to the digitalization, added virtualization, and that became one of the very important, I would say. It's not a luxury to have virtualization in those days. It is a must. So the digitalization, what happened during the COVID year, we had the solution in the market of One-Gate Marine. We had with Thuraya, and there are a lot of companies providing VSAT. So the vessels equipped with VSAT, that was very easy for them because they had to add the box, or maybe they had the box and they had to add the services. So plus minus, they were equipped, and they cope with the pandemic and with the crisis quite easily because they were pre-equipped. Now, what we do for the other vessels and the challenges of going digital today. Today we have we have the new reality. We have the pandemic. We have an economic crisis happening now, and maybe will be still with us for a year or two at least. So, two things. For the large vessels, they have to go for VSAT. They have the possibility to go for a VSAT antenna. So the difficulty today is just they have to commit, or they have to pay for the antenna and for the equipment upfront to keep the flexibility. The challenge is that with the crisis, we are seeing a reluctance from the companies to sign for a commitment or also to pay upfront. This is a challenge for the big vessels, large vessels, but we have also the small and medium-sized vessels. where technically it's not possible. So if you see on the picture, we can see that the vessel on the right, it's technically not possible to install a VSAT antenna on the top. And those vessels were just kept out of the process of digitalization and virtual services. What we have done today, we announced that it's possible, and we announced that that's possible with the Orion Edge V solution developed by IC and Thuraya. Now, what this solution will offer, it will offer the access to small and mid-sized vessels and to large vessels who are not in position today to invest or to commit, the possibility to avail all those services on those vessels, those type of vessels. So overall, the solution will allow to have a remote office, so you can manage your services as if you have an office. It can avail remote maintenance, remote surveillance, all the kind of solutions that we were discussing. So remote maintenance is available even over a Thuraya L-band solution. Internet of Things also is part of it. We have the possibility also to have crew welfare, something that was very difficult to offer over L-band. And the most important thing, that today, by allowing third parties to enter your network, by allowing the remote maintenance, and remote maintenance means that you have OEM manufacturer entering, you have ports inspection entering to your vessel. So you have to care more about your cybersecurity, because you are more and more allowing people from third parties to go in. So the big difference between cybersecurity 2 years ago and today is that today you have a lot of third parties asking permission to enter to your network. It used to be just the threat used to be only the crew or some lack of policies, but today it is really the number of people or of intervenient coming on board your vessel is less, but they have more going into your network, and that's why the cybersecurity become very important. And we also take care of that in the design of our solution also. So the response to the pandemic basics. So we have optimized solutions. It is a VSAT-like solution that cares about safety and emergency. It has also dual mode, because we understand that those small vessels spend more time closer to the shore than others. So we gave the possibility to have a GSM connection also there, and a possibility to have the least cost routing. We avail the possibility to use GSM when it's available. And as I said, the possibility to have, we understand the market, we understand the crisis, so it is very flexible solutions, it is project-based, and we can have also the possibility to have one subscription for the whole fleet. So additional to all that, we offer a virtual dashboard to the fleet managers or to the IT engineers sitting in their offices, and we give them the possibility to understand, to have full visibility over the SATCOM link, to see the history, to have advanced filtration management, so they can enter and they can manage the filtering for their solutions. And they can manage the credit limits, the voucher monitoring. So we give all the tools to the fleet manager to be comfortable with our solutions and with the Orion Edge V. So that's overall the answer, and from us as Thuraya and IC to avail the step forward for digitalization and virtualization to small and mid-sized vessels, and hope that they will go within the trend and maintain their competitiveness in the market and will be able to manage their job, whether the oil price is $20 or $80. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabil. That was extremely interesting. And as there's so many interconnections between the telecom side and the satellite side, I encourage the audience to put all the questions together, and we'll take all the questions at the end of the two presentations. I will ask a few questions myself. We'll get the ball rolling, and then I look forward to getting questions from the audience. In the meantime, we were now going to hear from Mr. Shaukat Ahmed. This will represent the satellite side of the franchise, and he's the Chief Commercial Officer of Thuraya. Shaukat, please, it's up to you.
Thank you very much, Faisal, and thank you, Nabil, for your presentation. So I'd like to first give a brief on our company. Thuraya is one of the leading players in the mobile satellite services industry. We've been around since 1997 when the company was incorporated. And recently in 2018, VSAT has acquired Thuraya. And now we are the 6th largest satellite operator in the world by revenue. Next slide, please. Yes. So, as I mentioned, we are like one of the leading operators. Have a record in this industry, and recently we have also announced the launch of Thuraya's next generation spacecraft, which is going to replace our existing satellite. And this is going to be a major investment from our side. And this is going to be an investment not only in the satellite, but also in the platform, which will help us to launch new products and solutions. One of the focus areas for us, since we have acquired the company years ago, has been to diversify a portfolio of services and offerings. And in this, new planning phase, we have really focused on the maritime business. And during the last 1 year, we have seen the results of our efforts, and we are now extremely happy to announce that we have recently started some major projects in the Asian region, in some of the countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, China as well. And now we are in this second phase looking at Middle East, which is going to be a very, very important market for maritime services as well. Next slide, please. So this slide here shows a coverage area. We cover roughly 2/3 of the globe through our satellite, but we also offer dual mode services. So with our roaming partners, we cover the entire world. As we have close to 400 roaming partners across the world. And you can see, except for South America and certain areas towards the north, we have extensive coverage and cover more than 7 billion people. So next slide, please. Today, we're going to be focusing on the maritime side of Thuraya. Besides maritime, obviously Thuraya is focusing on the conventional satellite voice services, where we are the market leaders. We also have a strong data portfolio wherein we are mainly working on requirements for enterprise, energy, oil and gas, NGOs, and the government customers. So in the maritime area, we have a lot of new developments which we want to share with you. Some of these have been touched upon by Nabil in his presentation. So if you go to the next slide, I can share some of the main areas where we are going to focus on. This is linked to the digitalization in the maritime world. So the idea is to make sure that we are in conformance with the existing standards that are mandatory for a maritime operator. We also want to make sure that all the operational hassles that we have seen, in our interaction with the customers through our service partners are addressed. For example, the bill shocks, which has been a major problem. So for these kind of issues, we have customized plans which have been launched, and this has really helped us gain market share. And some of the markets that I mentioned in Asia now, we are emerging as leaders within certain niche markets, like small boats, the fishing solutions, the fisheries solutions that we have deployed in certain markets as well. So from our side, it's very, very important to work with the best suppliers to ensure that the quality of the product, the solutions that we bring on table is gold standard. So this is like one of the, let's say, criteria for us before we launch a product. So there is like a detailed process where we have to make sure we tick all the boxes in terms of the quality checking, in terms of the even the turnaround time for customer support, in terms of the integration with the applications and solutions, some of which Nabil has mentioned. So we work very closely with our service partners across the footprint to ensure that the customer does not have to wait too long when it comes to install the satellite, in terms of locking into the satellite systems. It's a seamless process to enable them to quickly deploy, because some of these projects I run into tens of thousands, and we have stringent timelines from the regulators in certain cases. So I can now safely say, after almost 2 years of focusing on maritime, we have reached a stage where we can provide the entire gamut of the maritime solutions that are required in all the countries in our footprint, as well as Middle Eastern region. Next slide, please. So this is how we classify our maritime services. If you are looking for high bandwidth, high throughput solutions, and you need global coverage, we have a solution for that through our partnership with one of the largest operators, Panasonic. We have a combination of KU band services and L band services. So this is called VSAT plus. Here we targeting regional merchant vessels. So the KU band service gives you the bandwidth that you need, and the L band is there for the resilience. So this is a combination. And for this product, we work very closely with IEC Telecom, who are our master service providers for Ocean Pro or the VSAT Plus product. Then we have C Pro, where we have a very solid product called Orion IP. This has been in the market for many years now. So it offers 440 kilobits of service, and again, targeted mainly at regional merchant, offshore, leisure as well. And in some case, coast guards are also using this kind of service. Very recently, we have been focusing on the Sea Light services that we have in our portfolio. So this is mainly through voice, SMS, GMPRS kind of application. And the flagship product here is Marine Star. So this is extensively being used now for the fishery solutions, the vessel monitoring and management system, and the workboats. As Nabil mentioned, that in many cases the size of the boat does not allow for installation of a VSAT terminal. So we have worked closely with the market. Actually, we went for a survey in some of the key areas to figure out what was the compelling requirement for these small boat owners and the fishermen, what were the pain points. And then we have designed this product with APSI, who have manufactured more than 1 million handsets for us, and have been exceptional in terms of the quality. So this was like a joint effort with them. And when the product was launched in December of last year, within like a few weeks, we were sold out with the first lot, and then we had to reorder. And this has been a runaway success in most of the markets. And because of COVID, we actually had some delays with the supply chain, but that has been overcome now, and we are now in a position to again supply into the region because there's like a huge demand for this product. So in the next slide, we are now going to look at the future with Thuraya for the next generation satellite system that we have. So the idea is, okay, right now we are focusing on these new products, applications. For future, obviously the requirements will change, and our aim is to ensure that we have the most flexible, the most scalable system available during the next few years. And again, the way we've been working, not only with Thuraya, but some of the other YASAT programs, is we work with the end user. We actually want to ensure that all the requirements that they have right now and in the future are addressed through the solution that we are creating, because this satellite, once launched, cannot be then modified for 15 years, which is the life term of a geosynchronous satellite system. So we have to make sure that all the future requirements are also captured. So we work with the key service partners and the end users to ensure that those requirements are captured within the specifications that are shared with the manufacturer. So again, very pleased to announce here that the manufacturing process for this T4 satellite has begun. We have Airbus as the manufacturer for the satellite, and we have plans of now working on the different milestones to make sure that this is launched in 2023. and then the commercial operations should begin towards the first quarter of 2024. Next slide, please. So more information on this next generation program, because there's a lot of anticipation among the partners we have, among the customers as well. So obviously we have to focus on some key areas. So I'm going to share some 7 of them with you today. So this is obviously the best in class. So we have to make sure that we are at par or even better than some of the features that competition is going to bring on board. This system is going to have higher data rates. We are targeting to increase data rates up to 3 times what we have today. Ensuring that all the new portfolio of products can be supported, and also make sure that this is affordable. So this is key. So even for some of the products that I mentioned before, which we have launched, this is like our starting point to make sure that the end user, the fisherman, or whoever it is, the leisure boat owner, feels that this is like within his grasp, and then we work from there. And the other area which we have seen is very, very important for us to take into account is we don't just deliver the connectivity. It has to be an end-to-end solution. So for example, for Marine Star, we have now launched a tracking application called SAT Track. So it's a plug and play solution where you don't have to subscribe to different applications, etc. So it's like a complete solution where we enable our partners to adhere to the regulatory requirements and make sure that if they want to provide different reports as well, that can be managed. So similar philosophy will be maintained for our next generation products as well. Next slide, please. So again, while interacting with our service partners as well as the customers, we found out that there were certain key areas which were missing from our coverage area. One of them was the Cape of Good Hope, which is one of the major maritime routes. So we made sure this time that it is properly covered. So there has been some modification in the coverage area to ensure that there are no gaps and all the major requirements are fulfilled. Then in terms of the system as well, the platform and the new development in terms of the chipsets or the modules, etc. We want to make sure that this is extremely flexible, because we will be catering to requirements like M2M IoT, where those solutions might be used for cattle tracking. And on the other end of the spectrum, we are also looking at aero solutions or some of the maritime solutions where you need higher bandwidth. So this is of utmost importance for us to make sure that we have the flexibility. As I mentioned, this is like a 15-year program, so we have to think about the future requirements as well. More importantly, it's now becoming increasingly important for us to focus on security issues, because we see government as a major sector for us, maritime as well as the enterprise segment demand highest level of security from our side. So this has been incorporated into the next generation program as well. So this will be one of the major enhancements from our side. Next slide, please. So now we come to the topic for today, which is the digitalization in the maritime world. We have seen there's a lot of trends already visible in terms of the automation of ships, in terms of the dependence on the systems that we provide. The provision of data and the integration is very, very important, and it has to be highly resilient. So it's a new area where we have to ensure that we work closely with our partners and offer the highest reliability, the optimum throughput, and then ensure that whatever is required, because there will be projects where you just need some basic services. There will be certain projects where you need some advanced, services. So all of them will be made available, and this will be packaged together with the partners to ensure that the new applications like artificial intelligence, robotics, big data, because we see there are so many new areas up, in the maritime area. You have a lot of requirements from the government when it comes to the military applications for the naval systems. And then you have for the commercial segment as well, in terms of the pipeline management, in terms of hydrographics. There's a lot of new applications which will be through our systems. So this is again one of the focus areas is for us. Next slide. Okay, so that's it from my side. And if you have any questions, I'm available to answer them.
Well, thank you very much, Shaukat and Nabil, for those very comprehensive presentations. I think one of the things that has come through both the presentations is that there's indeed a strong partnership, which is why both of you companies are actually sponsoring this session. So I'd like to start off with the first question to you, Shaukat. What exactly is the relationship between Thuraya and IEC, and where do you draw the line in terms of services so we as a customer would know who to go to for what?
IEC Telecom has been our service partner since the beginning. Just after the satellite was launched, I think IEC was one of the first companies who partnered with us and launched services initially in this region, and now with T3 they've also expanded the footprint into Asia. So we are the satellite operator. We do not deal directly with the end user. IEC Telecom and other service partners that we have, they provide the end user solutions, and they deal with them when it comes to provisioning of the services, billing, installation. So the operational aspects for the end user are managed by IEC Telecom.
So with that, Nabil, to define what a customer needs, sometimes he needs help knowing what's available. So if someone is interested in improving communication, for example, for the seafarers on board, you would be the right person to talk to. How do you help a customer define his needs as to what system he requires?
So we also start from what the customer wants to do, what are the needs. Sometimes we translate those needs from needs of communication to what is required in terms of L-band or VSAT, what additional services they want. So we are trying to simplify the needs to him and to give him the services that he needs. A customer today doesn't care about how many megabit per seconds he needs. He doesn't care about anything. He needs welfare, so the possibility to give to his staff X, Y, Z. He cares about his security. He cares about the possibility to do video conferencing, for example. What used to happen is the customer comes and sometimes you have an IT person in front of you and you say, okay, for me to have a video conference, I need to have a 4 megabit per second, for example. That's where we are, and we say it's not necessarily to have 4 megabit per second. It's not necessarily to have 2 megabit per second. You can have a special designed video conferencing tool that works over a high latency link and even much lower bandwidth. So we try to give this the answer and give the service to the customer without giving him the hassle of going to the detail and try to do. And always the satellite connection is something extra that comes to the IT manager if he's available. You know that we have a lot also of companies, especially in Middle East, without IT manager, and we try to be a kind of consultant for those companies, also dealing directly with management.
Well, I think it's safe to say that 2020 has sort of turbocharged the whole digitization and virtualization process. Clearly, the seafarers, as you mentioned, has a big demand on the voice side, but it's also done a lot towards alternate fuels, transition towards autonomous shipping, and a lot of condition-based monitoring. Nabil, how do you see the trend in 2020, which has been the greatest growth in data? Obviously, voice has been one. So, what percentage is voice and what percentage of communication is data typically?
It depends a lot of what the vessel had on board before the ports closed. For vessels equipped with VSAT and with data, the data service was just booming. We didn't see a lot of increase on voice. For those who had no data, of course, they use much more the voice. But the trend is more to video. Video conferencing is the number one that was added. Remote access, and today people were asking for remote access because they were not able to jump in. But that also brought a lot of new ideas about just not only access but remote control, remote maintenance, etc., etc. So what was really booming is remote services, and those remote services are also bringing a challenge, which is the cybersecurity. Because more you work on remote, more you have to make sure that you are secure on the cyber side.
Right. Shaukat, you mentioned that the current systems being offered to the offshore fleets have originated from the fisheries market several years ago. What kind of modifications did you have to make to the system to transfer from what is considered to be the fisheries market, which is primarily maybe Northern Europe, towards the more, let's say, regional markets of the OSV fleet, the offshore support vessel fleet? Were there major modifications that you had to make, or was that all a part of the service providers' issues?
No, it's a combination. We have to make sure that our platform is robust and flexible enough to support whatever value addition our service partner has to make in terms of the end user solution. So from our side, the main challenge obviously initially was at the product level. So we had to make sure that, for example, for fisheries, it was an affordable product. It had all the bells and whistles, and which would tick the boxes in different countries. And again, because you want to make a product which can be used in different regions, so that you gain from the economies of scale. So what we have done is there are you could say variants in terms of some of the language support that we offer on the terminal. So there are some which can work with the Chinese, the uh, Tagalog and different languages, and there are some which are with other languages. And then in terms of, for example, the fish catch reports, so you need to have the species of the fish which is available in a certain area, fed into the terminal by the service partner. And sometimes, like, because we're talking about tens of thousands of units, we do it, we kind of pre-program it from our side before the product is delivered to the end user through the service partner. So it's like an ongoing thing where for a certain project, if we have to make some changes, we've tried our best to ensure that this could be done over the air, with our new product which was launched a couple of years ago. And for the other ones, again, if there is requirement of adding some firmware to enable more flexibility, we're always open to those ideas.
Nabil, would you like to weigh in on that?
Yes, I can add on how we make the Marine Star, which was primarily for fishing, how it works and how it helps the OSVs. First of all, it is a very nice communication solution. So it is for regional operations. In terms of pricing, it is very well priced for regional operations with very good rates when you call one or two regions. Then the possibility to have to manage the relationship on board the vessel. So the difference between an OSV and a fishing vessel is the number of people and the number of companies that can be there. So offering a solution with scratch cards that offers also, because on an OSV you always have third parties coming in and they have to use your communication. So you give them scratch cards instead of denying them having access or giving them access on your cost. So that's a management of relationship on board of a vessel, and also a possibility to give a kind of welfare solution, some scratch cards to those seafarers, because we had the solution that the only seafarers that had before the Marine Star scratch cards were those on board of big vessels having a VSAT on board. Today, you can avail those communication with the welfare program, even on a big vessel, over a solution that is circuit switch. So there are a lot of niche services that can be offered to either a niche market or even to a bigger scale of even of shipping vessels.
The OSV market is prime.
Cards were not something required by the fisherman himself.
True. Yes, typically at OSV, if it's a dive support company, it will be a different person who owns the vessel and operates the vessel. There will be contractors, there will be specialists on board, whether it's cable lay or diving, and each of them will have their own headquarters and communication requirements. Quite right. Now, staying with the OSV fleet, typically OSV contracts are regional. Some will be working for either Aramco or ADNOC or working in this region. But quite often, you may get a contract to work maybe in Mozambique. In this case, and this is a question to both of you gentlemen, let's start with Shokat. How global is your connectivity? So if a system or a vessel which is configured with the appropriate equipment for the Middle East, can it go straight to Mozambique and connect seamlessly, or does it have to be modified, or what does it change from the satellite operator's perspective?
Nothing at all. So from our side, the way we design our products and services are, in such a way that it can cater to all these different markets, different countries. As I said, sometimes it could be support of some specific languages, etc. But otherwise, from as an operator, we don't have any modification to do. At the service provider level, it's a different case altogether. Maybe Nabil has some more insight into that.
So
Thank you.
I confirm that there are no technical changes and the system will work everywhere. But we offer on pricing wise, we offer the flexibility of, especially when we speak about VSAT, not to have global coverage. So if we speak about service companies, yes, they need global coverage, but in fact, not for every vessel or not for any of their vessels. So they have operations in Mozambique, they have operations in Malaysia, they have operations in Middle East, and they need regional coverage in Malaysia, regional coverage in Dubai, and regional coverage in Africa. So why I would reserve capacity for the vessel who is in Asia? I know that he will not go to Mozambique. Or if he will go, we will have time to. So our prices are flexible in terms of project based, so you can subscribe for 3 months, for 4 months, or whatever timing you need. And then if you move to another region, we offer you a regional package also there. So we have the possibility to give a global coverage, but it is a sum of different regional coverages. So we help you and you don't pay for global coverage all the time.
Okay, we're rapidly coming to the 2-minute mark, so I'm going to ask one question to both of you before your concluding thoughts. You know, the world is moving towards autonomous shipping, and there's more and more requirement in the future of controls of vessels being both shared by the shore-based staff as well as the seaborne staff, with the ultimate goal of some people think that you can have a vessel completely autonomous. What is your role in that development? And are you interfacing with the classification societies or with the vessel owners to make sure that your capacity to handle real-time data this cannot be batch data. It's obviously going to be in real time because they're actually navigating the seas. What role are your companies playing in this autonomous shipment development area? Let's start with Shokan.
So from our side, we are witnessing this. The kind of requirements we see, from the different markets is mainly linked to remote sensing, tracking, monitoring, predictive maintenance, and vessel performance monitoring. Some of these examples. So we see all these are like really, really important, and also some of the government requirements which I mentioned earlier. So have to take this into account and ensure that working with the service partners, we are enabled to address different projects that come through either tenders from government or working with commercial companies as well who have their own set of requirements. So from our side, we have this goal to ensure and equip these customers with a seamless autonomous solution which will enable them to address all the key issues that they are witnessing today in terms of logistics, management, and monitoring.
Great, thank you. Very quickly, Nabil, we're almost out of time, but please give us your thoughts.
Yes. So the thing, more you go autonomous, you have more you rely on communication. So of course you have to have the primary, the secondary, the backup, and the backup of the backup connections. This is the reality of today's communication. An example is the Thuraya VSAT Plus, which has a VSAT and an L-band from different satellites where you can manage. And all VSAT operators today are having, and we see a lot of requests for the L-band also to be a backup of an existing VSAT. So more you go to autonomy, more you have to think about having not one backup but two or three, and more you have to care about cybersecurity also. So it is an increase of channels, the way to manage them, and the way to make those links secure and care about cybersecurity, because that will be the vulnerability you will have if you don't have people on board.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, we are just about out of time. Can I ask each of you for 30 seconds, no more than that, just to give us your concluding thoughts and takeaways? Just 30 seconds. Shaukat.
Okay. So what I like to say is from our side, we have to ensure that not only accomplished service partners like IEC, but even our other partners are able to fulfill these requirements. So we are making investments right now, and obviously the investment that will be for the T4 next generation satellite is in the region of $500 million. So from our side, we have made a decision that maritime is the key focus area for us. So we will leave no stone unturned to make sure that our solutions are very flexible and can be customized for end users in Mozambique or Japan or anywhere in the Middle East.
I think from a sea trade and a maritime standpoint, that's a wonderful sentiment. Thank you for please keep investing. It's very important for us. Nabil, for your closing comments.
So for my side, we work with the maritime industry. We are trying to bring solution. We are trying to help them in those difficult times. Today, the message is that you can invest in telecommunication to be competitive, to remain competitive, I would say, in the future. And we are trying to close the gap. There is no difference between large vessel and small vessel. We are trying to bring the solution to everyone. It is available. We can help you on that. And feel free just to contact us, even just for an advice.
What a fascinating session. Thank you one and all for your participation, especially both of you, Nabil and Shaukat, for your enlightening and engaging comments and for being the sponsors. So thank you for the sponsorship from IEC Telecom and Thuraya. And most importantly to you, our audience, thank you for your questions and for being part of the participation in this particular panel. We hope you enjoy the rest of Sea Trade Maritime Middle East Virtual, and please stay with us for the next session that starts at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much, and goodbye from Sea Trade.